Thank you to all of you who come out today to see myself and my fellow, Judge Bailey put it, rookie class to be robed here today. So I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy days on a Friday to come out here and join us today. I want to start by just thanking my wonderful wife, Melissa. Many of you, at least those of you sitting in front of me, have had an opportunity to hear her in court. And she was as eloquent today as I think she often is before all of you. And it's a great honor for me to have my wife introduce me today. You know, as she said, unlike the three previous robees, I was neither appointed nor ran unopposed. And with two small children, having to be out on the campaign trail, as many of you know, is a second job in and of itself. Melissa is a full-time lawyer. She's also a full-time mother. She's also a full-time wife. And to have her be responsible for all of the stuff that needed to happen while I was out campaigning, hoping to take this position that I take today, was a miraculous effort, and I could never have done this without my wife. So, Melissa, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. In the same vein, I couldn't have done it without my two kids, Miles and Mathis. You saw them today. They're as rambunctious as any other 3- and 6-year-old would be expected to be. And not having their daddy home for long periods of time was as difficult for me as it was for them. And I love them for having the patience to wait for me to get home at times, and also to have the patience to know that eventually their daddy was going to come home. And it's been wonderful being their father, and I love them very much. I also want to thank my mother, Sherry, who you briefly had a chance to see come up here. Again, many of you have had a chance to know her over the years, and she was always great for me. She brought me up in a house full of wisdom, let alone the law. And she was always there to help out with Melissa and her grandchildren, who she loves dearly, during this campaign time. And again, without her and the involvement of my family, many of whom are here today, I could never be where I stand today. So I want to thank them very much. What makes today kind of especially poignant is that about 25 years ago, I think I stood in the exact same room and had the great opportunity to, along with my brother Mark, who's here today as well, and I thank him for being a wonderful brother, but Mark and I got the opportunity to stand before some of you who may have been here that many years ago, in a full house as well, to robe my father Ron, who all of you know in one way or another. So to have my kids here today to robe me just kind of continues the tradition. You know, in the Hebrew language, there's a saying, "Lador v'dor," from generation to generation. And it seems that while some see it as being, you know, something of an opportunity, I think the reality is, if I could stand where my father stood, even after a long and dedicated career, I could only do good for this community, because that's all that he's done. You know, he showed me the way and brought me up not only in this courthouse, but in an environment where I could learn to be fair and just, and have the similar temperament to hear everybody out and give everyone their fair due. If I could stand in his shoes and be half the man that he was in this building, I know that I'll have a very long and successful career. And so, Dad, I just want to thank you very much for your example that you set. I love you very much, and you're certainly welcome in my chambers anytime, as you always welcome me to yours. Now, as I said, I did have an opposed election, so without the support of a number of people, I would never be here today, and that's just the simple reality of running a countywide election in Broward County. First, I want to thank the people that were intimately involved in my campaign. I want to thank David Brown, who's here today, who was my campaign manager and consultant and good friend, as he has been to my family for years and years. I also want to thank my treasurer, Michael Leader, who many of you know as a practicing attorney here, but I know him as a fraternity brother and former roommate while we were in law school. And Michael, without your help, I wouldn't have gotten those reports filed on time, and I certainly wouldn't have had the ease of maintaining the things that need to be maintained in the course of a career, in the course of a campaign. I also want to thank Jose Izquierdo and George Allen, my deputy treasurers, for their assistance and assisting me with all the things that need to be done in my campaign. Now, clearly, you can't run in Broward County without having important people behind you and having people who are dedicated to your election. So I want to just briefly run through the names of some of the elected officials that lent their names to my campaign and supported me. Senators Nan Rich and Eleanor Sobel, Representatives Jim Waldman, Chevron Jones, and Elaine Schwartz, a variety of mayors from all over Broward County, Jack Seiler, I appreciate you being here today, Judy Paul, Frank Ortis, Mayor Michael Ryan, Mayor Peter Bober, and Mayor Joy Cooper. Also Commissioners Carl Schechter, Mickey Belvedere, and Joey Scudo of Sunrise. I want to thank all of you for lending me your name and your support and allowing your constituency who may not have known me to know that you believed in me and to elect me to this position. I also have a variety of community leaders, many of whom have come out today that deserve some recognition. And I won't be able to say thank you to all of them because there are simply too many. But just to run through a list of those that, again, endorsed me, allowed me to use their names in supporting me to get to this position. I want to thank Adele Berger, Sophie Bach, Bernie Parness, Kathy Richards, Ken Evans, Michael Albetta, Ron Mills, Annette Gardner, Big Mama, Essie Reed, Gert Weinberg, Ann Zucker, Lottie and Doreen Albert, Barbara and Steve Effman, and Dr. Fred Lippman. I also want to thank the organizations that supported me, the Broward Police Benevolent Association and Jeff Morano, who I saw here today, the Broward AFL-CIO and Dan Reynolds, and of course the Hispanic Vote that supported me as well. Finally, I want to thank the legal community. The truth of the matter is, as we all know, in judicial elections, they're considered low-information elections. It's hard to get the community motivated and knowledgeable about their judicial candidates, and oftentimes it's the legal community that really dictates how the general public will come to know their judges. I want to thank the law firm of Elsley Sobel. I want to thank the lawyers at Krupnick Campbell and Kelly Eustall. I want to thank Cynthia Dienstag and the matrimonial lawyers who assisted me in my campaign, Ed Jennings, Ian Seitel, Michael Ahern, and David DiPietro, both of whom were very involved in my campaign as well. I also want to thank all the others, and there were too many of you to name, who contributed or endorsed me. And again, without your support, I could never be here today. I just want to kind of in closing, talk a little bit about what I think the role of the judiciary is. You know, I had the great privilege of having a wonderful mentor and role model in my father. And he did things for me that, as a judge, I think the judiciary has a responsibility to do to the community. And that's to basically build bridges, to create a link between what the law can provide and what the community thinks the law can provide, and then, of course, actually provide what we promise we're going to do. When I was in college, I learned a poem that stayed with me for a very long time. And in closing, I just want to recite it, because I think it really reflects what we do as judges. We are the bridge builders. We connect the litigants to the law. We connect the community to the Constitution. And so in closing, I just want to recite a poem by American author Will Allen Dromgoole, again, that I learned back at University of Florida many years ago, but it's always stuck with me, and it's called The Bridge Builder. And it goes, an old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim, the sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the passing day, you never again will cross this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide, why build you this bridge at evening tide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been knocked to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. And so, like a bridge has been built for me, I look forward to building bridges for our community, for my children, for my family, for my constituents, and for my fellow judges who I am honored to be a part of. I've appeared before almost all of you, and it is an honor and a privilege, and with great humbleness and humility do I wear this robe and take the job with every seriousness that all of you take on a daily basis. So I thank you all again very much.
At this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce Thomas Panza, very distinguished.